Hi guys, a video on negative indices or negative powers. So the objective of this is to learn how to express negative powers as positive powers or indices. Okay, so in particular, the example I've given here is 10 to the power of -3. So just intuitively, it's not very easy to see what a negative power does, but I'm going to try and explain it using this table here. Okay, so I'm going to use a powers of 10 and a pattern, sort of like by way of a pattern to show you what a negative power is and how it, mathematically what it does to a number. Okay, so looking at the first line there, we've got our powers of 10 going down from 3 to -3. We're going to work through the positive ones first. And I've done the first line, 10 times 10 times n, which is 10 to the power of 3. Basic numeral is 1,000. The second one there is going to be 10 times 10. Whoops. So 10 times 10. Okay, and that's obviously going to be 100. Okay, 10 to the power of 1 is 10. Basic numeral will be 10. Okay, so as we talked about, anything to the power of 0 is going to be 1. I'm not going to go through why that is, but you'll see in a minute. So we've completed those first two columns, and what I want to look at is what's happening as we go down, as we decrease the power by 1, what's happening to the basic numeral. And hopefully you can see that as I jump down, so 10 to the power of 3 to 10 to the power of 2, I'm actually dividing by 10. Okay, and that holds true for every time we step down. So 10 to the power of 2 to 10 to the power of 1 is also divided by 10. Okay, and finally 10 to the power of 1 to 10 to the power of 0 is also divided by 10. Okay, so when we're decreasing an index number, we're actually dividing it by the base. Okay, in this case that's 10. Okay, so we'll do this in a general format in a little bit, but as you can see, the index over here is now gone negative, so it's gone from 10 to the power of 0 to 10 to the power of -1. Now, following our rule, okay, our basic numeral is going to be divided by 10. Okay, so what you should be able to see is that 1 divided by 10, and we're going to work in fractions, is 1 over 10. Okay, so in expanded form, that's going to be 1 over 10. Okay, so what's happening is a negative index does not make the number negative. It makes it smaller than 1. Okay, so we'll look at this positive index in a minute. But if I divide by 10 again, okay, 1/10 divided by 10 is going to be 1/100th. Okay, now in expanded form, that's actually 1 over 10 times 10. Okay, and finally, I'm just going to expand this a little bit just to make it easier to read. Finally, we have one last one. We divide by 10 again, and we get 1 over 1/1000. Okay, and that equates to an expanded form 1 over 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, now so this positive index, okay, any negative index number can be expressed as a positive index, and hopefully this expanded form over here is showing you what you should be able to make a connection between the negative form and the positive form. Okay, and what it is 1 over the positive. So if you look at this 1 over 10, that's 1 over 10 to the power of 1. Okay, this -2 is going to be 1 over 10 to the power of 2, or 1 over 100. And finally, 1 over 10 to the power of 3. Okay, so there's a general rule. Okay, so you should be able to see that 10 to the power of -1 is going to be equal to 1 over 10 to the power of +1. Negative 10 to the -2 is going to be 1 over 10 to the power of +2. So to make it into a positive number in words, okay, so to change a negative power to positive, we flip, we'll take the reciprocal, it's called, and turn the power into and make the power positive. Okay, so just in general, it's not a great explanation, but it can be written like this. So we usually write it in general form. So a to the power of negative n is going to be equal to 1 over a to the power of positive n. All right, so that's the general form for negative powers. And the reverse is also true. So if you have 1 over the power of a negative power, so 1 over a to the power of negative n, you can flip it and make the power positive. Okay, so a to the power of n. All right, so yeah, so look, I'll show you a couple of examples because it works just as well for let's give it a bit more space. So if I had x to the power of negative 3, for example, okay, so I want to get rid of that. In general, we try to, when you give an answer in maths, try to give it answer as a positive power. Okay, just to keep things neat and tidy, it's just a convention. Okay, so you need to know how to do this. So x to the power of negative 3 is going to be 1 over x to the power of positive 3. Okay, so that's how you do that. 1 over, an example here, x to the power of negative 10. Okay, in this case we flip it onto the top and you get x to the power of positive 10. Alright, so that's how you do it. I'm going to do some examples in the next video. Okay, so watch this one and then watch the next one, and I'll see you in a minute.